Unlike Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2 has confirmed that we will be battling on multiple planets. These planets are designed to be completely different from each other to give the player a sense of scale on how grand this new narrative campaign is. On top of that, we have our first small glimpse into the mission system and how that will work. In this video, I will be doing a complete breakdown of that, so grab your bolter, prepare to purge, brothers, because we're going in with the first wave. Now, before we jump into the actual planet and mission breakdown, I think it's best if we explore how we select them. We now know that the battle barge is going to be our central hub of navigating the game. On this battle barge, we choose to play the campaign, co-op operations, and PvP mode. Before we deploy in a mission, it is confirmed that we can select our loadout we want to play to best counter the enemy. We know from gameplay footage that Astartes weapons can be found at certain checkpoints, so even though you've decided to bring a certain loadout, it can be changed throughout the game's mission. Now let's start with the campaign map, because as you can see in the background, we have 3 main planets to choose from. Each of these planets will have their own missions attached to them. Something to note here, the system we're actually fighting in is called the Ridiculous system. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I haven't heard that mentioned in any of the current lore as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Games Workshop actually puts that in future novels, campaign books, or even codexes. The first planet is Valrak, and this is described in the new trailer as a planet-wide metropolis. We've seen shots of this through numerous trailers of the planet. It looks like this could have been the system's main world. It has huge ornate statues everywhere, spires that reach into the clouds. It gives a sense of dominance of imperial might. Now, the Tyranids seem to be the main threat on this planet, and of course you're tasked with your squad to help purge them and assist the Imperial Guard as they purge them as well. We've got some great gameplay so far of this world. The bell falling down now has literally been in every trailer, and it's more or less become a meme of the Space Marine 2 community. We don't really know too much more at this point, just that little bits of information that the developers have given us, but I do think this is going to be one of the main players in the battle against the Tyranid foe. And moving on, the next planet we have is Kadaku. Now that name seems oddly familiar to another planet that also had a recent bug infestation.
It's an ugly planet! A bug planet!
Also got a recent video drop of this planet giving us a brief glimpse into what it is. The trailer says that this is a jungle planet infested with muddy forests and swamps. I would go as far to say that the trailer suggests that these forests are an actual danger to the players. Maybe you don't want to go sniffing the roses on this world. And just like Valrak, it seems that the Tyranids are the main threat on this planet, and it's our job, along with the Imperial Guard, to fight them and take it back. But maybe, just maybe, there's going to be other Space Marine forces getting involved, but I'm going to leave that for another video in the future. The trailer also mentioned that the planet is scattered with Imperial fortresses, which again, we've seen via different gameplay videos and trailers, and they all look fantastic. Now, one thing to note about this planet, I personally think this is where we will begin our story with Titus. From the video that was posted at the Canadian event, which showed off all the brand new mission and some brand new footage, this is where Titus meets his new squad members and they leave the Thunderhawk on this muddy planet, assisting the guard. Maybe we have to clear the Tyranid swarm on here before we can actually progress to the next planet. Or maybe it's going to be something like Battlefleet Gothic 2, where, you know, you have different missions on different planets, and if you leave a planet too long, then it's completely consumed, and then that's a priority planet to go to. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how they bounce around, or how we bounce around in the story campaign, and also the co-op operations with these missions. Again, from what we've seen from the trailers and the gameplay, this planet looks absolutely fantastic. We've seen fallen Imperator Titans that have been consumed by the forest, retaken back. The shots of the bombing runs and the scale of the fortresses really sells the scale of this world and the enemies that will be fighting upon it. The final planet is the planet of Demirium. Hopefully, again, I'm saying right. And this probably has to be the planet I'm most excited about. This planet seems to wear where we'll be fighting the forces of chaos. You can already see the planet looks consumed by warp energies, that two realities are clashing and becoming one. We've seen the ground ripped up and floating idle in the air, so this is definitely the place of the warp shenanigans for Tzeentch. This planet really interests me because I think this is where the final bit of the story is going to take place. What that story is at this point is anyone's guess. I would love to see Magnus the Red involved at some point, but I think it's too much on the wish list for that to happen. I think this planet, just like the other two, were Imperium worlds that had settlements and fortresses on it, but has been completely consumed by the forces of chaos, and it's going to be our job to go in and either take it back or kill enough that we can launch an exterminatus upon the world. We do actually get to see more of this planet when the trailer clicks on it. We see the operation name on the left, Operation 5, and the first mission is labeled as Dawn's Descent. No, not Rogel Dawn. He's not coming back on this planet. Well, maybe he will come back. Who bloody knows? Also of note is the rewards under this. We don't know what these rewards are as of yet. I do have a theory on what they could be, but I'm going to be doing a separate video on that, going deep down the rabbit hole and doing a full breakdown another time. Just like the campaign mode, another place to find more action is the co-op operations. This is where you and two friends or random people can team up to do missions that will affect the main story plot for Lieutenant Titus and his squad. Think of it as two separate stories happening at the same time. Without you completing your objectives in here, Titus can't progress in his objectives. As you can see in the background, we get a little teaser of this menu. At the top, we see Operations, Campaign, and the Eternal War tabs. There's a quick match button for you to randomly find people. If you've got no friends, hop into a random game that is probably already happening. Right now, it seems that we only have 6 missions that are part of these operations. And to be honest, that seems a little bit light for me. I'm hoping the game does launch with a few more. I definitely think this is going to be a big part of the updates for the game with adding new content in. It's got to be these missions that will affect other parts of the main campaign. Also, personally, I don't see anything that is a ship operation mission. We know that some type of fleet battle will happen in the game. We've seen trailers of this. The Tyranids do have huge fleets. This is how they arrive at planets, and they are very, very deadly. I would absolutely love to have an amazing experience where we get to play an operation where you repel Xenos boarding parties, maybe on a Space Marine strike cruiser or something like that, and you have to fend them off for getting to certain areas of the ship, purge them down with like Marines running around, there's fire everywhere, servitors getting involved and stuff. It'd be absolutely amazing. Please, Saber Interactive Focus, if you're hearing this, please make this happen. Other information we can gather from this screen is the actual mission information. The one highlighted in the background is called Decapitation. We get the description, which is of course to eliminate the Hive Tyrant, but we see other minor details like the mission's priority. And I wonder if this game will actually have a system that makes a mission a priority target to the entire player base until enough players have completed it. It could be a great way to get the community working together to beat a common enemy, just like what they did with the Helldivers 2 game. We also get to see the risk factor, which is set to high. Maybe that's some type of difficulty setting for this game mode. Also the presence of the enemy, which is referred to as Tyranid Swarm. Again, I'm assuming that maybe this is some type of difficulty setting that you do in co-op operations. Now, another thing that really stands out is the rewards. We see the XP, which is going to be spent on unlocking weapons and armor, and it seems to be that that is requisition. Maybe that is going to be spent on upgrading certain bits of your weapons that you have eventually unlocked. We do actually get to see one other mission as well, and this mission is called Inferno. We don't have all the details of it because we see this at the reward screen when all the XP is being given out. It's nice to see that we'll have lots of objectives to do on missions. I think this is going to inspire players to try and do everything they can to get the best amount of XP. I'm hoping next week we see another preview on one of the planets so we can talk about it even more. I hope that I'm not boring you with all this Space Marine 2 content. I've been waiting for this game for the past 12 to 13 years now. So much hope and hype has been stored and it's slowly bursting out of me bit by bit. I plan to do so much content for this game, from playthroughs to class guides to even hosting like the best dressed Space Marine competition in the game for you guys to win vouchers and all that funky stuff. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, any details that I may have missed, post it down below and we can have a nice little chin wag down there as we always do, Chaparunios. See you in a bit. Have a great day and bye-bye.